Matchup is set as Kings and Pelicans just went final Western Conference play-in. Pels 5-0 against the Kings this season, but they'll have to do this one in the most important stage without Zion Williamson. Sitting there in street clothes. First quarter, Kings down 2. What does the Fox say? De'Aaron Fox pulls up from 3 and drills it, puts Sacto up 1. Later, they're up 5. Fox inside. He had 11 first quarter points, a game-high 34. Kings up 2 after 1. Second quarter, Willie Green not happy with his team's effort early on in this game.
You got to up the level. Cross the board. Take the hesitancy out. And shoot the ball when you open, drive it, kick it, okay? Play with that level of confidence. It starts on the defensive end.
It starts on the defensive end. Pelicans listening to their coach. Najee Marshall has his shot blocked, recovers, finds Murphy beyond the arc for 3, splashes it, had 16 less than a minute later. Larry Nance, Zubin, you mentioned earlier, Dad won the first dunk contest. He used 2 balls to do it. Larry Nance only needed 1 basketball. He had 13, Pels up 7. Under 3 minutes left in the half, Pels up 10. Keegan Murray falls down, defense into offense again. Marshall, breakaway jam. He had 11, Pels up 9 at the break, and they've led at the half in all 6 games now against the Kings this season. Third quarter, they're up 11. Harrison Barnes drives for the Kings. Brandon Ingram swats that, and then Pels running the break. Ingram kicks it up to Herb Jones, only buckets making SportsCenter. Ingram knew it was good before the shot was even released. Pelicans bench is hype. They're up 14. Closing seconds of the third. They're up 7. Ingram, part of his team high 24 from the mid-range. Pels up 9 after 3. Fourth quarter, Pelicans final touches. Jose Alvarado, 3 of his 10 off the bench, off the pass around. Pels go up 20. They hold on to win by 7. The first team to beat another team 6 times before the playoffs since 1994-95 when the Nuggets went 6-0 against the Wolves. That Denver team didn't even reach the postseason. The Pelicans have OKC awaits in the 1-8 game in the West. And it'll be the first playoff meeting between these teams. OKC, New Orleans, never met before. Thunder had a 2-1 edge in the regular season, held the advantage scoring in the paint, which is crucial for the Pelicans, who could potentially be without their top presence in Zion Williamson. Silver lining there. Road team went 3-0 in that series, and the Pelicans they will not have home court advantage. They'll be the road team 4 times in 7. Here's Danny Green, 3-time NBA champion, with an immediate first look at the West. Yeah. This just went final. Pelicans a perfect 6-0 against Sacramento this season. What was it about New Orleans that gave them that advantage every time these teams took the floor together?
Well, they didn't try to do it with one person. They didn't try to play hero ball. They played together. They did it as a group like Miami did earlier today. Also, Sacramento, it looked like they just ran out of gas. They didn't shoot it well from 3. Normally they do. They put up abundance more of 3s than New Orleans did. But New Orleans, they made plays. From Trey Murphy to Brandon Ingram, they looked for each other. They had 6 assists each. Not only did they score, but they moved the ball. Their bench production was amazing as well. Larry Nance Jr. coming off the bench scoring. Najee Marshall was like a plus 20. And Jose Alvarado. Those 3 guys were huge for them. But the story of the night to me, Jonas Valanciunas. This guy dominated in the paint, had a double-double, blocking shots, changed the game. With Zion being out, he was that presence they needed inside.
Well, tough young Thunder team awaits. Danny, thanks so much. We're going to hear from you again and look ahead to that series at SportsCenter from LA.
Thank you.
Fellas, look forward to it. Danny knows a little something about the Western Conference playoff picture in his great career. The one to really keep an eye on is the Nuggets and the Lakers. Of course, last year met in the Western Conference Finals, and it sort of looks like they'll meet again in the first round. Lakers and Nuggets. So that's going to be the deal in the first round tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern. LeBron has said so many great things about so many great players over the years, but what he said about Jokic is that he's in shape, he's ready to go, and it'll be a gigantic challenge. Lakers have been dominated by the Nuggets here of late. Denver has won the last 8, including a sweep in last year's Western Conference Finals en route to their first NBA title. We'll take a look at what happens tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern. That'll be game 1 from.
Thank you for welcoming us into your home or wherever you're at. this point as Friday night's ticking over to Saturday on the East Coast. Zubin, it is win or go home in a pair of NBA play-in games.
Hardly the situation you want to play a game without your best guys, though each game of the doubleheader tonight features just that. Phil will get to the Zion-less Pelicans taking on Sacramento, but they were trying to do what Miami did, win without their stud, Jimmy Butler. It was Bam Adebayo and company up to the task. Rick Ross in the house, Paige Becker's in the house. Pat Riley, arms folded, not smiling in the house. As usual, it's all business, serious business. As the Heat went on a massive run, take a look at the top of your screen. We'll just run through why this game essentially was over at the half because of the run Miami went on. There's Jaime Jaquez Jr., who everybody was praising after the game. Kobe White at 42 against Atlanta in the win. Off the mark there. Look at this pass from Adebayo, splitting the double team to Nikola Jovic. With the other Nikola ready to go, they'll be in the fourth quarter of his game about this time tomorrow. The Heat's at a 19-2 run. Kevin Love gets the old playoff bounce. It's a 22-2 run. And if it wasn't for DeMar DeRozan's 12 points in the second, this game would have been worse than it was. Hero up top. It's a 26-2 run. They were up 34-17 after one, and it was essentially over. Tyler Hero, tough too. Speaking of the injury bug, he spent a lot of this season injured. They're up a dozen. And then look at this pass behind the back to Martin. They lead by 22, heading to quarter four. Remember last year, this is precisely where Miami was, right? Do or die game against the Chicago Bulls. They won it just like they did tonight, and they advanced all the way to the NBA Finals. Hero for three. Listen to the crowd. Be wary of what you wish for, though. You'll get them Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time at the Garden in an off-played playoff matchup that Hero knows all about.
How much responsibility did you put on your shoulders in this game, knowing it was win or go home?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people try to, determine the outcome of a game by how much points someone scores. And I think Jimmy Butler does the opposite of that. I try to be as much as I could of Jimmy tonight, just trying to make the right play, get my guys shots.
It can feel like it sucks, like that we were in the play-in and that, we lost the first game. But if you can get past all that, it's like, all right, we get an opportunity to have a game with this kind of competitive spirit and consequences. That's what all of the guys in the locker room want. Like when they're thinking about this, in the summertime, we have guys that want those games with, the feeling that you have going into it.
For me, it was simple. If you have any doubt or if you're scared, get a dog. Don't show up. Because it doesn't do anything but affect the people who really believe that we can get a win.
Remember, this is a very off-played playoff matchup. Seventh meeting since 2010. In fact, they've all happened since 2010. Remember last year, Heat were up 3-0, had to go to Boston to win Game 7 to avoid being the first team down. Boston 3-0 to come back and rally to win. The Heat escaped that ugly history. This season, they could not escape Boston. Boston won all three meetings. They were 46% from downtown against Miami. In Miami's defense, they dominated everybody. The Celtics were the NBA's only 60-win team. They actually won 64 games this particular season. And their point differential 11.3, fifth best in NBA history. If you're wondering, the four teams above them all won the title. Sounds like a pretty good plan for Boston to try to go 5-5, get title 18, and be one up on the Lakers all time. As for the Bulls, it's going to be an interesting off-season. Lonzo Ball hasn't played in a couple of years. Caruso ended the season hobbled. And DeMar DeRozan is now a free agent at the age of 34, wondering if he's played his last game in Chicago.
I think, it really hits you after the season, when you look up and last seconds run off and you don't have another game. And next time I play a game will be my 16th season. You realize the window closed for you personally. I ain't trying to play 25 years or nothing like that, but you just want to have the opportunity to give everything great in you opportunity, you know, and like I said, like my mind, my stance on, you know, want to be here still the same, but, you know, just want to win, you know, more than anything, just have the opportunity to win and not, you know, got to go home and see the first round of the playoffs, second round of the playoffs,